There are so many games coming out every single year, but I still enjoy revisiting games that I've played before. Today, I'm going to be talking about roughly 6 games that I would like to go back and play again. My name is James, and I started this channel simply because I love video games. If that sounds like you, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see more videos just like this one. I love getting a brand new video game and playing it for the very first time. However, I also enjoy revisiting games that I've played before and seeing how my thoughts and feelings about them have developed over the years. Today, I chose a handful of games that I've played once that I would like to go and experience again. In the past, I've done a video on games I replay every year or every 2 years or something like that. None of those games are going to be included. This is exclusively going to be games that I've only played once. So, Pikmin series isn't going to be here. Star Wars Battlefront isn't going to be here. Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Metroid Prime, Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion. Some of those games that that you might feel like are always kind of in my rotation, not going to be in this video. And with that out of the way, let's get started. First up is Quantum Break. This one was an Xbox One exclusive, and I guess technically it still is, made by Remedy and published by Microsoft. And I feel like this is a really great third-person action adventure shooter, like third-person over-the-shoulder kind of action-adventure game. It's been a while since I played the whole thing. I remember that there is a TV show that kind of goes along with it that is related to what's going on in the game, but I do think you can play the game without watching the show at the same time. But if I remember correctly, there are 5 or 6 chapters, and similar to Control, you are given different abilities. In this game specifically, all of your abilities are based around time manipulation. This game has been on my radar to replay for a little while now, and I've actually gotten pretty close to recording the first chapter and posting it on YouTube. I think when I first played this game, I want to say it was about the same time that Control came out. I really can't remember if I played this game first or Control first, but my taste and how I view and interact with video games has definitely changed since then. I'd like to get to that game sometime in maybe 2025. Next up is Detroit Become Human. This one is from 2018, and I don't want to say it's a walking simulator because I feel like that's so reductive. It's much more of a choice-based narrative adventure. I think I bought this game right when it came out in 2018. I would have had a PS4 at that time, and I played through it, and I don't know if I just had a lot else that I wanted to play, but I put it away and I never played it again. I was always curious about some of the paths that I didn't choose, like what could have been in the story. But I think that some of my hesitation to replay it comes from simply just wanting to play new games. I do also think that some of my hesitation to replay comes from, with a lot of these story-based games, once you've played them, they're not quite as exciting on the second or third playthrough. At this point, we're looking at 6 years. I've pretty much completely forgotten what happened when I played it before. And part of the reason this game has been on my mind is because Until Dawn was just remade for PS5, and so I thought about replaying Until Dawn as well. But I think this game is a lot better than Until Dawn. So if I was going to replay one of those, it would probably be this one. Coming up next is God of War 2018. God of War is probably my favorite game on PS4. However, that does come with a huge caveat, and that's that when I first got the game, I wasn't able to get into it. I played for probably an hour or so, and I said, this isn't for me, and I shut it off. I tried it again probably 6 months later, so it probably would have been, I don't know, mid 2019 at this point, and I was completely hooked. I couldn't stop playing it. And the sequel, God of War Ragnarok, is one of my favorite games on PS5 as well. I think those two games combined would have my favorite story in video games. I would have probably already replayed God of War 2018 if they had given it the director's cut treatment like they did with almost every other Sony first-party PS4 game. I guess God of War 2018 just wasn't important enough. What makes me want to replay God of War 2018 is that I do want to go and play God of War Ragnarok again. I'm hesitant to do that without first replaying God of War 2018, and I think I don't know, I'm holding out for a PS5 version of the game that I guess might not be coming. But anyway, I've been itching to replay that game for a while now. I might pull the trigger and go ahead and do it even without a PS5 port, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Up next is Metroid Dread. This was my first 2D Metroid game. I wasn't really familiar with how 2D Metroid games work. It might even have been my first Metroidvania. As I said in my 2D Metroid ranking, Metroid Dread was my least favorite 2D Metroid game. But I don't really know if that's accurate. But I don't really know if that's accurate. So I would like to go really through that entire series again, starting with Zero Mission and playing them in chronological order, just so that I can compare them, being more familiar with the series and just more familiar with those types of games. Part of the reason that I haven't played Metroid Dread yet again is because I would want to start at the beginning of the series and go all the way through, but I played Samus Returns for the first time earlier this year, which is the second game in the series. So I want to get a little bit of space between my initial playthrough and my potential replay of it. Up next is, I actually pulled two for this one, Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I have separate reasons for both of these. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is a little bit easier to explain why I want to replay it. My first time playing this game was in the lead up to Assassin's Creed Origins, and I forced my way through so that I wouldn't start Assassin's Creed Origins behind. So playing it that way definitely soured my experience. I think that I should give it another shot, and I might actually enjoy it a little bit more. And I think that if I were to approach it again with patience, I would have a better time. Now, as for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, my wife actually has been playing this game lately it's her first time, and she seems to be enjoying it. And I'm watching her play, and I remember not liking it. I could kind of tell you why, but I don't think I could really come up with specifics. So part of me wants to replay it for the same reason that I replayed Unity and want to replay Syndicate, just to see it with fresh eyes, kind of knowing what it is, and really not going into it wanting to be something that it's not. Before I give my very last selection, please, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit 300 subscribers by the end of this year. And the last one for me is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. This is a complicated one because I do really want to replay the entire Zelda series starting at the very beginning, but that wasn't going to be the selection because a lot of Zelda games I've played more than once, which doesn't meet the criteria to be in this video. So that's why I chose Tears of the Kingdom. However, part of the reason that I want to go and replay Tears of the Kingdom specifically is that when I think back to Tears of the Kingdom, my opinion on it has kind of soured a little bit. I remember loving the game, and I remember having a really good time with it, and it being literally the only game that I played for, like, weeks, and I couldn't get enough. So I beat the game, and then I got to a point where it was like, okay, I need to I don't know where the rest of the shrines are. Like, I need to start looking them up. And I looked up the location of one shrine, and I said, this isn't fun. Like looking up locations of things and then going and finding them, just to collect them and have them in the game, just wasn't fun for me. And I stopped playing. And so I never got all of these shrines in Tears of the Kingdom. I said Tears of the Kingdom, but I really do want to play through both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom again, so that I can kind of decide for myself, is Breath of the Wild a better experience, or did my taste and what I enjoy about video games just change a whole lot in those 6 years between those two games? I think it would be interesting to know that. Guys, that's all I have for today. In the comment section, please let me know what video games you would like to replay. I limited myself to games that I've only played once, but if you want to include games that you've played a couple times, you can. Until next time, the best way to keep up with me is on Twitter and on Instagram at James_Solar, and on Blue Sky at jamessolar.bsky.social. Thanks, guys.